Yo, today I'm building the best price to performance gaming PC in 2021. Let's go. Mark my words that this will be the best price to performance PC on YouTube in 2021. But anyways, let's go get the first deal to make this build possible. Alright, we just got the first deal and it's basically the whole computer. We're just missing graphics card, RAM, and storage. But it had a Ryzen 7 2700X, a really nice fractal design case. I think it's a Meshify C or something like that. Of course, our power supply, motherboard, and cooler, and all that. But we paid $150 for it. Now let's add that to the total build cost of this build, and let's go and get the second deal. Ooh! We just got this RTX 2060, and in first inspection, it looks to be almost brand new, so maybe the problem isn't really a problem, but we're gonna get it home and test it out. We're about 40 minutes away, so let's go. Alrighty, it is the next day. I stopped for some grub on the way home last night, so I didn't get a chance to test it because I was tired. But let's talk about what we got last night. So we got the main computer here. It also came with like a Wi-Fi adapter. Looks like a USB Wi-Fi adapter. I think that's what's in this box. And of course the power cord. And then we got the RTX 2060. But anyways, let's throw this RTX 2060 in the computer and see if everything works first. This man's cable work in this computer is a mess. Oh my goodness. All right, let's just move all the cables out of the way. Throw in the graphics card. And it should hear it click. There you go. Plug it in. Got just a single 8 gig stick of DDR4 just for testing. This is not the RAM we're going to be using. Got our monitor here. Plug in the power cable. Plug in the HDMI. Flip the power switch. And okay, all the fans spin. Anything on the monitor here? Come on, please. Oh, there we go. Haha, we got a post. Let's go, boys. Okay, so we will get some drives in here, install Windows, install a few games, and see if there's still an overheating problem on the graphics card. Okay, before we test it out and get an OS loaded on here and some games and see the thermals, let's clean these cables up because as you remember the first time you saw this PC, the cable work, it was atrocious. So let's take all these side panels off and then we'll clean up the cable work, throw in the graphics card again, and install some games. Alrighty, let's take the rear side panel off and then we'll see a real mess, hopefully. Well, maybe hopefully not, but probably. Okay. Honestly, it's not like terrible. My guess is the cable work was good. He had a good graphics card in here, took it out and sold the graphics card and then sold the rest of the PC. Oh my, damn, there's a 1 terabyte in here. He said, oh, maybe not a 1 terabyte, probably though, but he said there was no drives. There's a little hard drive just stuck down at the bottom there. Oh, oh my, oh yeah, it's real stuck in there. Oh, here we go. Okay, so if we take a look at this, I'm not seeing, oh wow, we got a 2 terabyte hard drive in here. Wow. Not sure how well you can see the label, but it's a 2 terabyte hard drive, 7200 RPM. It's a Hitachi drive. It's a pretty bulky hard drive, but hey, we got a free 2 terabyte hard drive. So as you can see, just with a little bit of work, didn't even take that long, probably like 5 minutes at most. It looks 10 times better. All you guys have to do is try with your cables. This guy didn't even try. He left all the fan cables in front and it It was a jungle gym, okay? But now that it is cleaned up a little bit, it is still a bit dusty, mind you that. But let's add the parts in now. For RAM, we're gonna be using this Trident Z kit I picked up on my local market for 40 bucks. That's a 2x8 gigabyte kit clocked at 3000 megahertz, which isn't the fastest for Ryzen, but hey, it is better than 2400 megahertz. So there's that. And then for a boot drive to go along that 2 terabyte hard drive that we found, it was a pretty special find. I was not expecting it. But we got a 512 gigabyte Intel SSD that I picked up on my local market for $20. And then, of course, the RTX 2060. Like I said, the lady said this was overheating. I will show you guys the text when we were talking back and forth, but I don't know what game she said it was overheating in. If the game's not too expensive, I may buy it just to test it to see if this overheats. But if not, we got an RTX 2060 for $190. But now, let's just put all this in the PC. After getting Windows installed, as well as a few games like Apex Legends and Battlefield 5, we loaded up Borderlands 3 to run an in-game benchmark, and just in the loading screen, the GPU temp is up at 80 degrees C and it's pretty loud. Yeah, so here we are on the screen getting ready to start a benchmark. There's the temp, it's at 85 C, and here's what it sounds like. So yeah, pretty loud. But anyways, let's run these benchmarks, keep track of these temps, and then we'll clean these parts up and do another test and compare the results. After running a few tests and an in-game benchmark in Borderlands 3, the max GPU temp was around the 85C that we saw on the loading screen. And then the max temperature for the CPU that I was seeing was around 68C, which is still fairly hot, but not like too hot. It's actually a really good range for a CPU. And then that gave us an FPS average around 74 and 1080p high settings on Borderlands 3. And then we ran a Firestrike and that got a score of 9051. And then we were basically seeing the same temperatures along both of the parts. The GPU was getting around 81C and the CPU was getting around 66C. Those were the max temperatures I was seeing. So I'm gonna give this whole PC a good dusting, repaste the CPU, not that it needs it, but we may see a difference in performance and temperatures. And then I'm gonna definitely repaste the GPU and hopefully see a decrease in temperatures and an increase in performance. So let's go. After cleaning the GPU and repasting the CPU as well as the GPU, we're sitting at 82C, actually 82C in the loading screen. It's better than 85C, but hey, it still kind of sounds like a PlayStation 4 on startup. Well, let's just see if there's any difference in performance. Oh yeah, we just got huge gains. I'm talking 2 extra FPS in Borderlands 3. Sure, the temperature's a bit different, so was it worth it? I would say yes, because although it be like a very slight difference, it is like a bit like cooler. It is a bit cooler, and you get an extra FPS, an extra 2 FPS. I mean, that would carry over to the extra games like Fortnite, but I'm tired of being brainwashed by that game. Not really brainwashed, but I'm just tired of testing that game right now. But yeah, it would definitely carry over to other titles. And then in Fire Strike, before we cleaned it, we got a score of 9,051. After we cleaned it, we got a score of 9,098. So yeah, not that big of a difference in performance, but hey, there was a difference in performance and thermals, so that's always good. So I would say I definitely built the best price to performance PC in 2021. This build cost was around $380, and we had an RTX 2060 and an 8-core processor, being the Ryzen 7 2700X. So I think that's pretty fire in my opinion. Anyways, let's talk about the test. The girl was testing the game and she saw it crashing because it got too hot around 2 hours into playing Death Stranding. And I didn't really have $60 to waste on a game just to test. And in my testing, I never had it crash on me. So I would say it's fine, and it's not running as hot as it was before since we did clean it and repaste it. So I say that's a win as well. So normally I sell my PCs, and that's what I want to do with this one. But for that to happen, I want you guys to smash the like button. I will make a new video upgrading this PC with, of course, some more RGB bling and then selling it for some profit. So smash the like button if you would like to see that, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.